Whoa, wait a minute. I don't want this thing landing in my yard. It's a pretty cool model though. 3D printed, hand painted, nice. But I think I'm gonna have to send you on your way. You can go land in somebody else's yard. Bye. Well, I hope you enjoyed that quick little 30-second clip. Hi, my name is Steve. So I want to do a little bit of a behind the scenes of how did I go about putting together this seemingly simple 30-second clip that took me a long time to do. And I'm a one-person crew, so there's a lot of work that goes into such a simple little clip. But I'm going to break this down into steps. Each one of these steps could be a hobby all in its own that people just simply focus on one step and that's all they do. So the first thing is coming up with a concept. What is it that you want to do? What type of interaction do you want to have? What is your short little clip going to be about? So you got to have an idea. You got to know what it is. Lots of ways to come up with ideas. Maybe you want to sketch it out. Maybe you do storyboarding. Maybe you just write notes. Maybe you just keep it all in your head and have a vision of what you want. But at some point, you got to decide what is it you're trying to put together. Step 2 is lighting, camera equipment, microphones. I'm looking around the room here in my little room studio. Not going to go into all the details of that, but whether you have a cell phone, do you have decent lighting, do you want a microphone? You don't have to spend an exorbitant amount of money, but the more you put into it, the more you will get out of it and the better quality you'll get out of your final video. Now, maybe you want to go for that cell phone look. So if all you have is a cell phone, use that to your advantage. Come up with your idea that is shot on a cell phone. Make it look like it's shot on a cell phone. Nothing wrong with making the video fit the content and the equipment you have. Use it to your advantage, not as a disadvantage. So step 3, you need to determine what objects do you want to use to interact with in your video. Now in this case, I'm using a 3D model. This is something you could purchase. This might be objects you have around your house. And you have to start thinking about different ways of how can you interact with that while still making it part of the background video and compositing it all together. So in this case, I found this 3D model out on Fab 365, downloaded it, and I printed it out on my 3D printer. So for me, coming up with the 3D model had a lot of sub-steps to it. So while we're only on step 3 of this model went through multiple steps, which was downloading the STL, printing it on a 3D printer, and then hand painting it to give it the final look and feel and assembling it. So all of that went into this. So a lot of work to capture this model. But in the end, I could have also gone out, bought something that was already a model of the Razor Crest and used that just as effectively. So now that we've got our object, we've got our idea, we know what we want to do. For me, I wanted to take this object and turn it into a 3D asset. So that way I have a 3D model that I can composite into my video, but I also have the physical model that I can interact with and hold in my hands as I'm doing recordings. So in order to turn this into a 3D asset, it requires a 3D scanner. I have a Creality CR Scan Ferret Pro, which I am creating a fully portable, wireless 3D scanner. Has battery pack, handle, I can put my phone on here, the Wi-Fi module, has light box, along with polarizing filters. So if that's something I'm hoping to come out with a video once I get it a little more refined and a little bit better of a 3D model. But you want to take and 3D scan the object Whether that's something you've purchased, whether that's an object you have already around your house, 3D scan it. Now I've got a physical object, I've got a 3D scan of that object. So step 5 is capturing your video. So I had that video of the lake where I panned across, and I had actually recorded that video several years ago, knowing that I had this concept of, oh, at some point I might want to do something where I have a spaceship come across the sky. Maybe it's an airplane, maybe it's a helicopter. I didn't know at the time, but I recorded that using some software that did camera tracking as you recorded your video. So camera tracking is a big deal when it comes to incorporating 3D assets into your videos and making it look like the asset fits within the real world. And that was called CamTrack AR. And that software ran on my iPad, which I no longer even have. But I just went around and did a bunch of recordings. Hey, someday I might want to do a video of a car out in my driveway. So I did some recordings using this software. I don't know if I'll ever use them, but if you have a specific idea, go out and capture the video. Capture it with the motion you want. Think of things like camera tracking, because that's going to be important in order to composite everything together. And then the last step, step 6, which again, another one of those steps that has so many subcomponents to it, but it's the software compositing. So taking all of these video clips, taking things you've maybe done with green screens and blue screens, how do you do camera tracking, how do you do masking, how do you do chroma keying, thinking of things like sound effects, things like music, other things that all go into making this final video. And all of that can be overwhelming, so try to keep it simple. A lot of applications out there have built-in sound effects. They have built-in special effects that you can easily apply to your videos. They have camera tracking capabilities. So as you're looking for a good compositing software that works best for you, those are some of the items that will make it much easier for you to now bring in a 3D model, make it fit within the scene, cast shadows to make it look like it's actually in the environment itself. If you look at when the spaceship is coming across the sky, turning to come in towards the camera in the lake, you'll see where I cast a shadow on that. As it starts to land, I cast a shadow onto the ground. Those are very important things to add realism to the final look of your film. So I hope this helped you a little bit. If there's anything in particular out of all of these steps that you're interested in, that you would like me to maybe do a deeper dive, would like to see more details around what software, what tools I use, please leave comments. I'll take a look at what the interests are and try to make sure I come up with some of that content. But appreciate it if you subscribe if you enjoy this, and I hope to see you in the next one. Whoa, wait a minute. I don't want this thing landing in my yard. It's a pretty cool model though. 3D printed, hand painted, nice. But I think I'm gonna have to send you on your way. You can go land in somebody else's yard. Bye.